Have you ever gazed at the Great Pyramids and wondered what secrets they hold? For thousands of years, the pharaohs of ancient Egypt have captivated our imaginations. These weren't just kings, they were considered living gods, bridges between the heavens and the earth. But beyond the golden masks and towering monuments lies a world of intrigue, power, and mystery. Today, we're going to pull back the sands of time and uncover the secrets of the pharaohs. Let's start with the most iconic secret of all. How did they build the pyramids? For centuries, people believed they were built by massive armies of slaves laboring under the crack of a whip. But recent archaeological discoveries tell a different story. We found entire cities built for the pyramid workers near Giza. These weren't slums, they were organized communities with bakeries, breweries, and even medical facilities. The workers were skilled, respected laborers, not slaves. They were fed well, received medical care, and were buried in honor tombs near the pyramids they helped build. They were likely motivated by a deep sense of national pride and religious duty, building a stairway to the heavens for their divine ruler. The real secret isn't forced labor, but incredible organization, engineering genius, and a shared national purpose that could literally move mountains. Now, let's talk about the famous curses. The curse of King Tutankhamun is legendary. After Howard Carter opened his tomb in 1922, a series of strange and untimely deaths followed for people associated with the expedition. Newspapers at the time were wild with stories of a supernatural curse unleashed from the tomb. But is there any truth to it? While it makes for a great story, most historians and scientists are skeptical. Many of the so-called victims of the curse actually lived long, full lives. Howard Carter himself lived for another 17 years. A more scientific explanation points to the possibility of dormant, toxic molds and bacteria sealed inside the tomb for over 3,000 years. When the tomb was open, these ancient microbes could have been released, potentially causing infections in those with weakened immune systems. So, the Pharaoh's curse might have been a very early and very deadly form of biological warfare, intentional or not. But the secrets don't stop at death. The pharaohs' lives were filled with political drama that would rival any modern TV show. Take Hatshepsut, one of the most powerful female pharaohs. She wasn't supposed to be king. She was regent for her young stepson, but she gradually took on all the titles and authority of a pharaoh, even being depicted with a false beard in official art to legitimize her rule. Her reign was one of peace and prosperity, marked by incredible building projects and trade expeditions. But after her death, her stepson, Thutmose III, tried to erase her from history. Her name was chiseled off monuments, and her statues were smashed out. Why? Was it revenge for her taking his throne? Or was it a more calculated move to ensure a smooth succession and erase the precedent of a woman ruling as king? This historical mystery shows us the intense power struggles that took place behind the palace walls. And what about their family lives? The royal family of the 18th dynasty, which included Akhenaten and Tutankhamun, is particularly fascinating. Akhenaten was a revolutionary pharaoh who tried to change Egypt's entire religion. He abandoned the traditional pantheon of gods to worship a single deity, the sun disk Aten. He moved the capital city to a new location and created a whole new style of art that was more realistic and intimate. It was a radical shift that shook Egyptian society to its core. His son, the boy king Tutankhamun, would later reverse all of his father's changes and restore the old gods. DNA studies have also revealed a tangled web of incestuous relationships within the royal family, which was common to keep the bloodline pure. These studies suggest that King Tut's parents were actually brother and sister, which may have contributed to his many health problems, including a clubfoot and a bone disease. The pharaohs also held secrets to eternal life. Their belief in the afterlife was the driving force behind mummification and the construction of elaborate tombs. The process of mummification was a sacred and complex ritual that could take up to 70 days. Priests would remove the internal organs, except for the heart, which they believed was the center of intelligence and emotion. The body was then dried out with a type of salt called natron and wrapped in hundreds of yards of linen bandages. Amulets and magical spells from the Book of the Dead were placed between the layers to protect the deceased on their journey to the underworld. The goal was to preserve the body perfectly so the soul, or Ka and Ba, could recognize it and be reunited for eternity. Their tombs were not just burial places, they were eternal homes, filled with everything the pharaoh would need in the afterlife: food, wine, furniture, chariots, weapons, and even statues of servants to wait on them forever. Let's not forget the secret knowledge they possessed. The Egyptians were brilliant astronomers. They used the stars to develop a 365-day calendar, which is the basis of the calendar we use today. They charted the constellations and understood the movements of the planets, all without telescopes. This knowledge was crucial for agriculture, allowing them to predict the annual flooding of the Nile River, which was the lifeblood of their civilization. Their priests were also master scribes, using a complex system of hieroglyphs to record history, religious texts, and administrative records. For centuries, these symbols were a complete mystery. The secret was finally unlocked in the 19th century with the discovery of the Rosetta Stone, which had the same text inscribed in 3 scripts: hieroglyphic, Demotic, and Greek. This breakthrough allowed us to finally read their stories in their own words. Even their symbols hold deep secrets. The Ankh, a cross with a loop on top, is one of the most recognizable symbols of ancient Egypt. It represents the concept of eternal life. The Eye of Horus is a powerful symbol of protection, royal power, and good health. It was believed to have healing properties and was often used in amulets. The Scarab Beetle, which pushes a ball of dung across the ground, was associated with the sun god Ra, who was thought to roll the sun across the sky each day. The beetle became a symbol of renewal, transformation, and resurrection. These symbols weren't just decoration, they were imbued with magical power and meaning, shaping every aspect of Egyptian life and belief. So, the world of the pharaohs is far more complex than just gold and pyramids. It's a world of brilliant engineers, cunning politicians, revolutionary thinkers, and deep spiritual beliefs. They were a civilization that looked death in the face and sought to conquer it. They built for eternity, and in many ways, they achieved it. Their legacy continues to fascinate and inspire us, and with every new discovery, we uncover another piece of the puzzle, another secret of the pharaohs. The sands of Egypt still have many stories to tell, and who knows what mysteries we will uncover next. Thanks for joining us on this journey through ancient Egypt. If you were fascinated by these secrets, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. See you next time.